Hey friends, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Fit Life Orange County. Before I introduce today's guest, I want to give you a friendly reminder. Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and share this episode, and that way we can keep producing this content for you for free. So now introduce today's guest, Coach Kelin, who has been at our location coaching our clients to incredible success since January of 2023. She has a wealth of knowledge, wealth of excitement, wealth of client results, and she's here to give her story on her coaching journey, and better yet, how she can help more people in Orange County through fitness and fat loss through Mission Viejo Fit Body Bootcamp. Kelin, welcome to the show.
Here is Bryce Henson and Jake Stewart, your host of the Fit Life Orange County.
Coach Kelin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Coach Bryce.
Well, super excited to have you. This has been a long time coming, and
Sure
finally got you in the studio here at the Fit Life Orange County. And our clients and our audience wants to know, the first question is really, how did you get involved in fitness? And then we'll kind of walk you through your coaching experience. But, give us the backstory of Kelin and your fitness.
For sure. So fitness has always just kind of been a part of my life. I was very much so a tomboy growing up. I was on the fields playing soccer, basketball, you name it. That was kind of me. And from that point, it just kind of stuck with me. Played soccer, was a cross-country runner. Got to college once I was there, was no longer a part of a team, so I started getting into the gym a little bit more. Didn't know what I was doing at the time, but just called myself a personal trainer to my friends. And then the growth kind of came from there.
Nice. So it was already like kind of factory installed in your DNA, tomboy
For sure.
growing up and whatnot. Then what about, coaching specifically, and then Fit Body? How did you hear about Fit Body? And then what, piqued your interest in coaching?
Yeah, so I first heard about Fit Body from Nina Malone. She's a client that is currently at our Mission Viejo location. Shout out to Nina.
Shout out, Nina.
Woo! That was perfect. But yeah, so
Synchronized.
first heard about it from her. She said it was a great experience. I was kind of in a phase of my life too where I just needed a change. And so I thought, she found this great community. She stuck with it so long. Let's see what it's about. I was a member at Fit Body Mission Viejo for a couple of months, and it just became somewhere where I knew I could go if I needed community or a rough day. So yeah, that's kind of how I got involved with Fit Body. And then the coaching aspect goes a little bit deeper than that. I was cross-country runner, as I said, in high school. And during that time, I struggled with a lot of injury. So I definitely wasn't one of the fastest people there, but I was for sure your most hardworking athlete out there. And I had a coach at the time who showed me that that mattered. And I wanted to be able to show people that even if you're not getting the results or you're the top of the tier of everything, you still matter and you're valuable. So that's why I really enjoy coaching.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. And you have such an awesome personality. You're so energetic. And from a
you.
coaching perspective, also from a motivating perspective, I took your session this morning and just love when you coach. So I
I'm
wanted to
so
give you a
glad.
little shout out there.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about like the coaching role. Just like anything, there's big highs, if you will, and levels of fulfillment. There's also challenges as well. So
Sure.
from your perspective, like what are the top few things that you really enjoy about coaching? What fills your cup?
Oh my goodness, so many things. I'd say just getting to see what makes people passionate. There's all different kinds of people that come into Fit Body. You never know what you're going to get. It's a great part of the job to meet so many different people, find what they're passionate about, and then get to share myself, what I'm passionate about with fitness with them. So maybe that's the top tier for me, is getting to share my passion and learn about others.
Totally. One of the things that we've kind of really preach and provide a lot of value is like the continued training on ongoing support. You've also met, a bunch of other coaches as well.
Yes.
Like maybe what are a couple things that you've learned, whether it be Jake or John, or maybe some other events that we've been to from a training perspective that you've really, taken with you in terms of your coaching journey?
For sure. I'd also say it's gone into what's been challenging for me. I think I'm naturally a very introverted person.
What?
I know, believe it or not. So just coming out of my shell a lot more and owning myself has been something that I've learned from Coach Jake and Coach John. I'm so very grateful for you guys. They've just made me feel so accepted in my own skin, and to be able to provide that for other people and hopefully inspire in that way.
That's interesting.
love. Yeah.
Go off script here. I would have never thought that. You have like those bubbly, energetic, really connecting type personality, which is really interesting that you're introvert at heart.
Introverted, but I love people. So it's tricky.
Go figure.
It's tricky, huh?
A little dichotomy.
A little dichotomy, yes.
Okay. Well, now we're talking to, our clients who, or potentially prospects who've, found this channel, like, hey, I'm interested in making a change in my life for whatever reason. What would you say, just in talking and coaching clients, over the last, handful of months, what are one or two reasons that, clients come into boot camp? Like, what's the big value they're trying to attain?
I'd say just naturally, like it's weight loss, but the value is bigger than that. It's a lifestyle change, and that's like what we're able to provide. It's not just one element of your life. So I think seeking that and looking beyond just what you're going to transform physically is really important as well.
Totally. Now, I always like to connect and shout out some clients and also inspire other people too, because when you tell a story, you humanize it, right? When you're like on the outside. When I look back at my own fitness journey, I remember a couple other my friends got fit, and I was inspired because they got fit. I was like, oh shoot, if Adam or
My
John
turn.
can my turn, I can get fit as well. So in the last handful of months, you've been coaching at Mission Viejo Fit Body. Can you think of maybe a memorable story or client or two that has had a change, and maybe it's a weight loss change, maybe it's a confidence change, maybe it's a mobility change. I mean, transformations can come in all shapes and sizes. So I was curious from your perspective.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to give a shout out to my guy, Nico. So when he first came in, he was so coy, very to himself, knew that he wanted to change, didn't really know how to do it. But as also another thing that I'd add, you just kind of stop overthinking. You quit doing that, and all of a sudden you just put your head down and you do it. And that's what he did. And whenever he comes in, I'm 5'1", you can't tell, but he's about, 6'5", and we're doing high fives to the roof. It is too much fun. He's so open, and he has like his squad of people now where I feel like he belongs. So it's been so great to see him transform for this guy who's so shy and concerned and just particular to someone who's letting loose and having fun with the community he's now made.
Look at that, Nico. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. How about you, actually, to that point? I would
Yeah.
never, thought in a million years you said, you're introverted, but you love people.
For sure.
How have you changed, just from like the coaching element? Because, I walk into boot camp and you're the belle of the ball. You're giving high fives, you're connecting
Yes.
with everyone. And that's like, it just, creates such a warm, energetic environment. I'm curious maybe on your own transformation in a very short period of time.
For sure. I was going to bring that up as well. But yeah, I think within the short period of time, I've had such an awesome community, like yourself included in the team that we have at Mission Viejo, where it's like, why would I not own myself? Like, I'm bringing something to the table. I'm valuable. I need to practice what I preach here. Let's just do it. So I think it's really something where, again, like I stop that overthinking. You just do and see what happens. And you got to be able to put yourself in that arena of vulnerability and see what happens. So that's what I'd say it is for me.
Good on you. I want to drill back into, one of the challenges, or at least, challenges just in any role. And I
Right.
think taking a step back, when you're running a session, you're programming the session, you're demoing the session, you're explaining the session, you have to control like, the floor, the movement, you want to make sure that clients are taken care of. There's a lot of things going on.
Yes.
And you got to worry about the timer. And then of course, if someone needs any special attention. So I know just kind of threw a lot out there, and you already listed maybe a challenge or two, but think back at your training journey.
Sure.
Can you think of maybe another challenge or two that you can share with the audience just to give them proper perspective of like what it takes to be a coach?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for me, I knew that I wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself, and I was just very nervous to take that step there. So that was very challenging for me as well, I would say. My fitness knowledge, I had a lot just kind of from sports and knowing the drill, but then throughout my training, I also became a certified personal trainer. So just learning the movements and why we're doing what we're doing, I think definitely was a challenge for me at first, because it was kind of a big undertaking considering my lack there of knowledge beforehand.
Copy. Now I want to flip the question on the other side, more the client facing. So,
Yes.
we have all shapes and sizes that come to boot camp. Sometimes it's interesting. I still hear, the expectation of people, who are interested in boot camp, but think only fitness models work out at Mission Viejo Fit Body, which is,
Right.
couldn't be further from the truth. Literally all shapes and sizes.
Absolutely.
So, from someone, outside looking in, what are some, challenges that, they're concerned about, coming in? And then what are some like just results that, or our clients experience while they're at camp?
I think one of the biggest challenges in general is just worrying like, I can't do this. This will be too much for me, or just not having a fitness background. But what's so great is, as you said, we're coming all shapes and sizes, all different levels of our journey. Some people were ex-athletes. Some people have never picked up a dumbbell in their life. Regardless, you know that you're with a community that's in that same boat. So I think that's very helpful to recognize like the position we get to be in, to have people who are like-minded than us.
Totally.
Yeah.
What about commonalities? Tony Robbins always says this quote that says, "Success leaves clues." So there's probably a certain 1, 2, maybe 3 things in common that the most successful clients do. Because let's face it, we have clients that come in, they follow the program, they get into boot camp a
Right.
few times a week, and they just crush the results. And they have some clients who kind of sometimes take the wait and see approach and maybe aren't as successful. So from your lens, in the coaching arena, what separates the most successful clients, and then maybe from the clients clients that need to take some of these actions you're going to talk about to achieve that success?
For sure. I think three things kind of come to mind for me. First is just having that positive mental attitude. If you're coming in here already negative and defeated, that's not going to be setting you up for success. I'd say another thing is your intentionality. Remember why you're doing what you're doing. If it's just surface level, I don't think you're going to come in with the same fire that someone who's like, I'm wanting to make a change in my life would.
Ooh, intentionality. That's interesting. That's a great point.
And lastly, consistency. Like there's so many days, obviously, like even now, you don't want to go to the gym all the time. It's like, I'm tired. There's an excuse that you can make every time, but sticking to that consistency is so important because then it's going to become habit over time. It won't be yet in that growth. It's going to be uncomfortable. But once you get through that, oh man, it's pretty limitless.
Totally. Now, consistency, I want to drill in a little bit of that. And
Please.
The nice thing about boot camp is you can come in the mornings or afternoons. So we have like a very flexible schedule.
Yeah, a lot of variety.
But I do think, to your point, the people that get the best results over the time typically stick to one specific session or cluster of sessions. You don't have to, but really just human nature, you set yourself up for, a better, I guess, success. So from your own personal training, do you train in the mornings or evenings, or what's your like routine at life, which is challenging because you also coaching and all that, but I would just love to get, Coach Kelin's personal life routine, so that way maybe some of our audience can model that.
For sure. So for me, my workouts have changed quite a bit, but I kind of do everything across the board. I like trying new things all the time, but it's usually in the morning. I like to start off my day best that I can with getting a workout, and it just puts me in the right mindset. But I'm lucky because I get to coach, be in a great mindset. Then I get to work out. So it's just all the benefits for me. Totally. But yeah, so I do a lot of strength training, but I'm a big Zumba girl. I love to dance. So you'll see it when I'm coaching too. It just comes out, it busts out, but I'm a big Zumba fan. And then I really like to be outside as well. So hiking kind of on the weekends, strength, and running and Zumba kind of during the week.
You're just an active chick.
Yeah, I'm a bouncy little thing. Yeah.
Nice.
What's up, my friend? Coach Bryce here. Now, you might know me as the co-host of this podcast and the owner of Mission Viejo Fit Body. But what many people don't know is that I began my journey as a fitness transformation story. You see, circuit training and nutrition coaching absolutely changed my life after being overweight with a diet of mainly fast food in my late teens. Now, upon my fitness transformation in early 2007, yes, I gained a much better physique as I was overweight and lacked lean muscle. But way more than burning fat and building lean muscle, I increased my confidence, my energy, and my vibrancy to live life. And it's for these reasons that many people join our boot camp. In fact, with our Ultimate Transformation Program, we guarantee that you will lose at least 15 pounds in 12 weeks, or your program is free until you do. Now go ahead and visit our website at missionviejofitbody.com. Now thanks, and back to the show.
All right. Well, I'm sure there's going to be some more coaching questions, but I want to transition a little bit to the lightning round just to extract some more knowledge here. Aside from, inspiring fitness and changing lives with the mission of Mission Viejo Fit Body, and really what we do, right? We do more than working out. We really support people and just change their lives. But I'm sure was an unexpected benefit before you started coaching, right? So, you're active, you knew that, hey, this is just kind of part of my lifestyle. I was interested, Nina, boom, made the recommendation. You come in, you check out the location. You're a people person, even though you're introverted. But
Correct.
You connect with people, you have awesome energy. And those are things you probably knew going in that you would excel at.
Right.
What's an unexpected benefit when you look back at your coaching that you're like, wow, I didn't really expect that I would, gain value, but this has been a really cool thing?
Company culture. It's been insane. Like I can't even begin to explain how grateful I feel to be a part of it. Like oh man, that one will get me a little bit.
We'll talk it out. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, it's just a community. You're so supported in the things that you want to do. And I've said it before, like to be around like-minded people who are pushing you in a healthy way is just, it's great. I love it, truly. And it wasn't something I was expecting. I've been in other roles before where the title seems like it's going to be everything and it's what I wanted, but the community wasn't there. The culture and intentionality, again, to use that word, like didn't add up to exactly what I anticipated or hoped for. And therefore I wasn't able to stay, but I'm in a place now where I really resonate with what I'm doing. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we like to say at Fit Body, people come for the results, but they stay for the client or the other clients, the connection, the community, and the culture. So
Yeah.
That's a spot
We're doing
on
something
Max.
right over here.
Look at that. All right. Next up, most people, want weight loss, right? Or there's some specific focus. Maybe a Fit Body Forever program is an example. They're looking for more mobility. They want to travel. They want to play with their grandkids, whatever the case may be. From your lens, what's something important that, whether it be a Fit Body Bootcamp, which is what really the conversation's about, or Fit Body Forever for that matter, what should a client kind of expect before coming in? I think that's really important to be able to kind of give them a little bit of expectation that way they're prepared for their first day.
Yeah, I think you can definitely expect that you'll be challenged, but in doing so, you're going to be supported the entire way. There's no way we'd ever let you get hurt. We're all professionals in there. So just know that will be uncomfortable, but that's just growth. So I'd say definitely don't think it's going to be a walk in the park or anything like that, but don't shy away either from something that's challenging.
What about for the person that maybe hasn't worked out since high school or ever, and they're here and they're like, okay, I see so much value in this particular program, and we'll talk a little bit about the final words of wisdom in a minute. So I'm just more looking for like a tactical, perspective.
Yeah.
How should they prepare? What would your piece of advice be to that person?
I think my biggest piece of advice would be to come in with an open mind. You never know until you try. There's a lot of things that you could consume, especially if you've never done it before. But we got a lot to offer here. We might just surprise you. So I'd say keep that open mind.
Totally. Love that. All right. I want to humanize you a little bit. You are a
do it.
fitness expert and you look and act the part.
Appreciate it.
But certainly we all have our guilty pleasures and good pleasures in terms of nutrition. So
Absolutely.
what would you say from a healthy meal perspective is your favorite, go-to healthy meal? And then I want to flip the script and really uncover the kimono a little bit and say, like, what's your favorite, cheat meal?
Okay. So healthy meal, my favorite one right now is a turkey gumbo that I found in this book I was reading. It was actually really interesting. It's called This Is Your Mind on Food, and it talks about how different mental health disorders such as like ADHD, anxiety, depression, all enacts with certain foods and everything like that. So the turkey gumbo that I found in there is just superb. I love it. It's got a little kick to it. It's got some rice, and it makes me feel great. So I love
Well, it's
that one.
interesting. I haven't researched studies on that, but that makes a lot of sense because you are what you eat, right?
Absolutely.
So nutrition is super, super important. And also taking a step back. I mean, we run an awesome fitness and fat loss program where we're, really challenging our clients to, get in great cardiovascular shape, but also build skeletal muscle mass. But nutrition is really, really important as well. And
It's essential.
That's a huge, component of our program as well, specifically our Bootcamp Plus. But aside from that, going back to you, Coach Kelin.
Yes.
Give us the dirt. What's your favorite cheat meal?
I have a favorite dessert place in Laguna Beach, and it's Gelato Paradiso. Check it out. I'm a tiramisu and hazelnut mix. Oh, it's perfect. It's like having iced coffee, but in the form of a gelato mixture. It feels like you're in Italy.
Oh, wow. That was
Big
very
fan.
specific. Friends, there you go.
Yeah, that's the order.
What a great recommendation.
Yes.
All right. Going back to the movement side, what's your favorite exercise? And then what is your least favorite exercise, Coach Kelin?
Unpopular opinion. I love running. As difficult as it is, I'm still a runner at heart for sure. And then I'd say least favorite. We did the Murph yesterday. The pull-ups got me. Yeah, feeling a little bit sore.
I want to flip back to the running. I want to dive in a little bit
Please.
because it's so funny. Unpopular opinion, you say that. I like running. I really enjoy it.
It's a
It,
little adventure.
Burns off the brain fog. It gets me
Right.
like really good, from a clarity perspective. It's
Yeah.
not something we do a lot of boot camp. But for example, yesterday was the Murph Challenge from Memorial Day,
Oh,
which
what a
was
wonderful
awesome.
day, too.
And we did running there. But for the vast majority of people, for whatever reason, even friends that have been in with even longtime friends, coaches that
usually
have been
the least favorite.
in the industry for a very long time,
Yeah.
they say running is the worst. For me, it's not. So I guess, can you really give some insight to our audience why you enjoy running so much?
Oh, for sure. For me, it's not a myth. The runner's high happens. It's just nice to get lost in kind of the silence and the nature around you. So similar to hiking, I just want to do it a little bit faster. So I like running more.
Nice. That's so funny. Coach Tatiana, my better half, she does not get the runner's high, but I get the runner's high in spades. And it just gives me so much
We'll teach her.
clarity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tall order, but I'm happy for you to take that challenge, Coach
We love
Kelly.
a challenge.
We do. All right. This is a local podcast here in Orange County. I already kind of teed up one of your favorite restaurants, but it's actually a gelato place.
It is a gelato place.
We've checked that. But
Yes.
aside from that, where would be a really kind of fun hangout place that we can find you in a weekend or a night? Would love just to unpack. Where would be at a fun place that we can find you?
Dana Point Harbor. Yes, I love that spot. I like walking along the water, and my favorite animal is a sea lion, and they like to hang out over there. So I'll get my coffee and hang out with the sea lions and journal a little bit too. So that's where you can find me.
Cool. And I think I didn't really originally ask this, but you're local. You grew up
I
in Orange
am.
County. Where'd you go to high school?
Dana Hills.
Okay.
Yes,
Look at that. And you do have a Michigan connection as well,
I do.
which is, can you elaborate on that for a second?
Yes, I was technically born in Ann Arbor. I was in the big house. So I know there's Michigan State here.
I went to Michigan State,
Yeah.
so it's more
Ooh.
fighting
Go
words.
Blue,
But
uh-oh.
I think it's interesting that we're California natives now, or I guess you are. But I've
And
lived here for
friends.
10 friends.
Yes.
But we have a tie to the Midwest, which is interesting.
Yeah, so I think that's where my athlete had to start. If I was born in the hospital of a college, had to be a little bit of an athlete. Had
There
to
you
like
go.
sports a little bit.
There you go.
Followed me, and then moved here when I was 3.
Oh, so you've known California pretty much all your life.
Exactly.
All right, I have one last question, which is more of a parting piece of wisdom for our audience who's interested. They know they need to change. They're watching this podcast and like, you know what, Coach Kelin's inspired me. I want to take that next step, but for whatever reason, there's some anxiety or nervousness, just apprehensive. So that's my parting question. Before I get to that, is there anything else about your experience, about your coaching experience, about your fitness experience that you just feel really important and compelled to share? If you do, now's the time. If not, we're going to finish off with that last question.
I'd say that for me, I spoke about how much I love running. I just have also learned my own limits as an athlete because when I did run, I struggled with injury very frequently. It was very discouraging. And for me, I kind of came up with this belief that like, oh, I'm supposed to get injured. Like this isn't supposed to be that way. So just realizing there's no supposed to be or shoulds. And especially when that comes not only to fitness, but just wellness in general. So I would really like to get that message across.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you for that. And then the last, question, which I kind of articulated, is there someone watching this that they want to change? They know that, shoot, if I just get underneath Coach Kelin's wing, like this is going to be good. I'm going to, have a positive attitude. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to put on lean muscle mass. I'm going to have more mobility, whatever the case may be. The fitness changes people's lives in so many ways, but they're scared. They're nervous. They're apprehensive. There's just that little voice in all of our head, that inner
Right.
critic. What do you say to that person watching this podcast to bring us home?
Man, that's a great question, Bryce. I would say, yeah, I hear you. That is definitely scary. It's doing something that you're not used to. It's going to be uncomfortable, but that's all going to be okay. You will survive it. You can do hard things. It's tough. You're tougher. But most importantly, you're thinking about it a lot. Quit overthinking it. Let's come in and do it.
Woo! Coach Kelin, look at that for the win. Before I shoot, I just wanted to second to acknowledge you, just because you have just been a godsend, and I'm so grateful. I mean, the third shout out to Nina, just because honestly, you've just been an incredible soul and coach into our program. The
Thank you.
energy, the connection, the vibe. I mean, you're an incredible form coach. You clearly articulate the movement pattern. So from a coaching perspective, there's so much tactical and technical elements that you have in spades. But I think the biggest thing, and you even said it, just the culture. You bring such an awesome culture, such an awesome vibe, because
Thank
fitness
you.
can be tough.
It can. It absolutely is.
And the
for
fact
everyone.
that you make it fun and rewarding, and you just add so much to the program. I just wanted to take a second to acknowledge you for that.
Oh, Bryce, I very much so appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, you are certainly welcome, my dear. Well, give me a fist bump. And
All
my
right.
friends, we crushed it today. Coach Kelin did an awesome job. And I just wanted to thank you for watching the show today. And of course, if you got value, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and share this with someone in need. Woo! As I'm throwing papers, and that way we can continue to inspire fitness and change lives together. So, Kelin, thanks again.
Of course.
And friends, we'll see you in the next episode.